He shared his story of living with terminal cancer openly on social media. It wasn't always for everyone, though Mike Sloan's often blunt, even humorous take on dying was found refreshing and enlightening by the thousands who followed him on Twitter. This week, he passed away. Here in London, Ontario, friends, family, even strangers are coming to celebrate the life of a complex man that touched so many.
Maybe it's unusual, but I just don't see dying as a big deal. And maybe it's because I've had so much time, like since February, knowing this was coming, that, I'm lucky to have had this much time.
Fortunate. That's how Mike Sloan told us he felt about the time he had left when we sat down in his apartment a few months back on a late summer afternoon. Mike was about to turn 50 and spent most of his remaining days online sharing his thoughts of his impending death. He poked fun at himself and others. He also made time for us to discuss his decision to choose medically assisted death.
We don't get a lot of opportunities, I don't think, to create your own purpose and be the sort of the playwright of the end of your own life. And so he got that opportunity. It turned out he was a pretty good playwright.
Turns out the final act of Mike Sloan's life was his most rewarding for himself and others. Thousands upon thousands followed Sloan's social media story, including billionaires, members of parliament, and citizens from across Canada and beyond. By comparison, a modest number of people attended his curtain call at this funeral home. Mike had a dry sense of humor. This is what he said a while back when we asked for parting words to share with his closest friends.
I'm glad they're here, and I hope that I left enough beer and liquor to meet their expectations.
Fittingly, there were more than enough drinks to go around today.
Is it really scotch?
It is, yes.
Okay.
There you go.
That's to Mike. He did not like phony people, and I think the majority of us don't either. So he reached out to real people, and real people reached out to him.
In his final months, Mike also raised $25,000 for this construction project with Youth Opportunities Unlimited. It will house teenagers who are too old for children's aid, but still too young to make it on their own. Since Mike's passing on Monday, $4,000 additional dollars have poured into the GoFundMe page he set up. A wonderful legacy for a man who used what was left of his voice to speak up and speak out.
The end-of-life story is not as sad as one might think, because, as I've said repeatedly, this has been a great journey, and I've learned so many new things, met so many great people. But end of life, but it's going to be nice that there's a finality to it.
Mike now has the finality that he longed for, and one hopes that also comes with a sense of peace. Now, in the months before Mike Sloan passed away, he asked a colleague and I if we would document his journey, his decision to choose medically assisted dying. We accept it. We'll have more on Mike's quest to end life on his own terms in the weeks ahead. In London, Ontario, I'm Adrian Gobriel for City News.